So now health literacy, what they're equating it to is that if we have a readmission, then they're discussing that health literacy can be a differential diagnosis for why they're readmitted. And if it is established that that is the reason why they're readmitted is because they didn't understand how to take care of themselves and they didn't have the tools or the information or the ability to access it, who is that going to fault to? Us. And we're going to pay for the admission. Now, yes, isn't that scary? So health literacy is extremely important that we understand a little bit about the dynamics. Now we're going to do a little exercise here on the board. And I just want to take one element to try and reinforce how the magnitude of this can be. And I want to take, medication. What are all the things that go into play when we ask a patient to take a medication? Okay? So when we ask a patient to take a medication, just start telling me what are some of the steps, what are some of the things that they have to be knowledgeable of in order to take it correctly. Because we know that medication errors in the home environment are also huge. Okay? So let me get you started. One of the first things that we have to do is they need to be able to read the label on the bottle. Okay? So what if they can't read? Okay, so what are you going to do if they can't read? What other steps that they have to do? Just start telling me what they are. I'm going to write them down.
First off, you want to know why.
Okay, they need to know why and understand why you're taking the drugs and be able to restate it. Okay. Okay. What does it do? The dosage. Okay, now let's take dosage. What does that require them to have knowledge of? Math. Numeracy. That's what they call it in health literacy, is numeracy. So if you're going to say, I need to take this drug 3 times a day, they may say, okay, does that mean take 3 of these pills at one time? Or does it mean take them, just 3 times, it doesn't matter, whenever I want to? Or does that mean every 4 hours? You see what I mean? Okay, so we're going to say it needs to be every 8 hours. Now what do they have to know how to be able to do? Tell time. Okay? They have to be able to tell time. Now what if their medication requires them to measure something? Now they have to be able to measure it. Let's say it's in a liquid form, or they have to take a pill and a half. Okay, so they have to score it and break it in half. They have to be able to do some of those tasks or those skills in order to do that. And maybe they can't because their hands are arthritic and they can't do that. So who's going to do it for them? And they say, well, I can't really, my mother didn't come over that day, or my health aide didn't come over, so I couldn't break it in half, so I just took 2. Or didn't take it at all. And that goes back to how important is it that I really take these meds. Now, before they even get this now, what do they have to be able to do? They have to have some way to get the med. So they have to be able to go to the pharmacy, and that requires transportation. So you have transportation, and if they have no way to get to transportation, then they may not be able to get their drugs or get their refill. And so they'll be without the refill for 2 or 3 days, and then your blood levels get messed up, and then they wonder why they have a problem. Now, if they're riding public transportation, what do they have to be able to do? Read the bus schedule and afford it. You see, what we take for granted and just taking a medication is so simple, but someone that has health literacy issues, and health literacy involves medication administration. That is just one thing. Imagine us telling them to do dressing changes or activity or food, change their diet, all those things. Look at the magnitude of what we're dealing with.